Not, I mean, even though they're on blue side, they didn't want to leave that option open.
Keep in mind, this is a very strong champion if he can get out of the laning phase, right? Last game, it was last picked once he saw the matchup in the mid lane, said, oh, I can beat Echo with Kassadin. And Origen giving the same credit to CLG, giving the same credit to Huhi, saying, look, we want to be able to play a champion that could get beat by Kassadin.
Okay.
What's another game where Kindred's up and Tom Kindred? Oh, well, no, they just banned Tom Kindred.
Yeah.
But yeah, is it going to be another game where I think Kindred is going to be up as well? So I actually really liked how Amazing played it. It looked a lot better.
Yeah.
I feel like he actually had really good ultimates that were pretty game-changing as well.
Also, his team was like willing to rely on the fact that Amazing would land a good ultimate.
Yeah.
Like they played around the fact knowing that if they go low, there will be a Kindred ultimate available, and that just shows again, you know, Origen as a team.
Yeah.
Replace Expected, that's fine, because the shot calling is amazing at mid D. You have solid top laner. You have a rookie AD carry that doesn't get phased by anything. So for Power of Evil, it's plug and play. You know, put him on one of these comfort champions, and they perform.
Looks like he's okay. He's gonna go with Elise over the Kindred actually. They did that last time that Kindred was up.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. They just went ahead with the Elise first. Felt that perhaps it's a safer pick, and there it is.
This is where we usually see, obviously, I guess the Gragas, not the Gragas coming, the Braum coming in here for mid D in that matchup. That's what he seemed to be comfortable on.
Yeah, I definitely think Braum's gonna come in here. I liked it the last time he played it. It looked like anytime the Alistar went in, he would just put up the shield and then just go for the ADC.
Yeah.
And now overall, I mean, this is also, you know, some big tests here for Smithy. Can he perform this weekend with something other than Gragas? We'll find out with the Kindred. If he can, it's going to be a game changer just the way the champion is.
Now, it's also interesting seeing what other game-changing champions are up here, because two of the bans that were aimed specifically at Darshan have been dropped now in this game. So the Fizz and I believe the other one was Riven are up this time around, and he gets last pick here on red side. So we saw the last game, a lot of heavy lifting by Soaz, also heavy lifting by the last pick mid lane. This time around, might CLG have that same advantage for themselves.
Oh, the Shen pickup.
I think it's most likely going to be a Shen support.
Yeah.
And last time that they had to do a blind pick like this, they picked the Rumble on the last rotation too. So I think the Origin's probably going to go with that route again.
Yeah, I like also that they have saved both solos for last. If they had picked one, CLG gets to counter pick that, and then again wait for last pick and pick both solos here. So picking these exact 3 roles on blue side allows you to trade 1 for 1 in terms of counter picks.
Fair enough. Sounds like a plan. The River might just be blind picked then by Darshan. Again, he said he wasn't happy with this play, but it is one of his favorites, and we all know that, you know, you give Riven an inch and she's just going to run a mile ahead of you.
I think it's a smart approach for CLG. I think the biggest mismatch in the last game was Hui Power of Evil, so you definitely want to give him the counter pick. If that can maybe make the matchup even, then it's still in the hands. Any Riven matchup is technically a skill matchup from what I've seen so far, so...
But they still have the option of just picking something safe. I mean, you could pick like a Victor or Azir here and just farm out the mid lane, just try to go to late game, like just try to defend the Tristana here. So I think that would be a good pick here too.
Yeah, and something to fill out the damage portion, of course.
Yeah,
also
they need damage somewhere.
has that AoE AP, has that burst is going to be helpful a lot. Because right now, I mean, sure, you get that snowball rolling. All 3 of those AD champions are going to do well. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a struggle for CLG.
Okay, the PR Riven matchup. That's a pretty interesting matchup, just because I feel it's a real heavy skill matchup until until you get the QSS on one of the people. Because you can QSS the pure ultimate. Oh, could be a Malphite as well.
I mean, to get to the Jinx.
Understand the damage.
But Malphite into Malphite into Kindred seems very, very easy to outplay.
Yeah, I mean, there is burst. If Power can keep farming, and to be fair, he got a ton of CS last game. If he gets to his item spikes early enough, like the Death Cap or the Void Staff comes in before the big team fights, they can burst Kindred before she can pop an ulti.
But if you look at the global scope of League, though, in very few scenarios do you actually want to use Malphite plus Ori ulti on the jungler.
True.
Because generally that is the tool that you pick.
Right.
That's how you punish Jinx. Low mobility, okay, hard engage, we got you. But then you have like the equivalent to a Zillion ulti almost coming out from Kindred there, and it's easily telegraphed. So, I mean, very, very rarely will a Malphite completely surprise you to the point where Kindred can't put her ultimate down. So if Smithy doesn't stack up with Stixxay, we could see some interesting team fights.
Well, I mean, there's also potential for some really nasty wombo where you could just Shen ulti the Malphite and just layer CC on top of the Jinx. So, I mean, even if you're staying alive, you're just going to be locked up for so long, it's still not even going to matter.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well, a lot of tools available then. Also, just the fact that, you know, again, he's a good gank follow-up as well. Elise gets around the map really quickly as well. So, yeah, Origen with a lot of playmaking available, CC in pretty much every single role possible. And the CLG last pick on LeBlanc is going to give Huhi some room to maneuver. He should be able to dodge almost all the crowd control here. And I think this can actually really open the map up and create a lot of room for Jinx to crush.
But if you're playing a LeBlanc pick, I would have rather seen a control mage. Like, you already have the damage in your carries here. You just need reliable, just team fight damage from a mage here. Instead of looking for that assassin potential, I think getting a Victor, maybe something in just easy wave clear control mage that you can really just use to facilitate those carries in the Jinx and the Riven.
I think the reason they didn't do that is just because they want something that can kind of function on its own. Because everybody's going to be trying to protect the Jinx, and the Malphite's going to go in on her. They need somebody that can really function on their own.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. There are points on both sides here, but big questions here for CLG, getting these picks and also securing that LeBlanc for Huhi. They wait until the last moment. Is it going to pay off for them against Origen? Origen at the same time, they look like they have a game plan against this Kindred and the Jinx. We'll find out in game number 2 between these two teams. Origen currently leading 1-0. Let's head over to the commentary with Demon, Doa, and Monty.
Thank you very much, Chobro. So, what do we think coming into game 2 here? Very, very different picks coming out through the entire teams.
Yeah, and not trying to match the split push. Instead, we do see Origen saying, okay, we're going to take the Malphite, try and stack that armor, and then move into team fighting mode. But there's some really intense chain CC here. Malphite Orianna combo, Malphite with a Shen ult on top of him coming in and CCing that backline. So CLG is going to have to be very conscious of their team fight positioning. They can't get caught in the choke. They must spread out in the river or in the middle of a lane, something like that, or they are going to get wrecked.
Yeah, I like this too by Origen. I mean, they're throwing something different at CLG right after a win as well. So CLG still reeling from game number 1. Now they have to adapt again.
Yeah, and I was going to say, remember, obviously, that Power of Evil Shockwave that caught Double Lift. That was pretty much the game winner. I guess we're going to hope that they can see something similar, catch out Stixxay, but they do need to worry about Darshan. Darshan's on a champion that he's got the ability to carry, got the ability to split push, got the ability to do a lot of damage. And now Huhi, finally getting onto a different champion, onto LeBlanc, taking away the chance. We'll see how it works out for him, how his LeBlanc play goes. It wasn't so spectacular on Echo in the previous matchup, but a lot of action ahead to go. Remember, this is a best of 5 if you have just joined us. Stoaz and Darshan. Oh, a little slap solid that you get from Oh, Rock Solid. Who was originally named Rock Solid?
I know. It's a good test for Doa.
I have no idea, man.
It was before Doa started casting League of Legends.
It actually was, yeah. I think that's a little unfair on you. It's true.
It's the original Dignitas team.
Oh, really?
Actually, Rock Solid became Dignitas
Many
moons ago.
That's actually where I got a lot of my replays from. Skara giving me the LoL replays a long time ago. That's how I started up league casting a long time ago.
Rock solid.
Yeah.
Huh.
So anyway, there's a bit of trivia for everyone at home.
Wow. What do you know?
A little bit of trivia to keep going. So what are we expecting? Okay, you can see already going to be some complete lane switches going on here. Looking, yes, it is going to be amazing. What do you rate on this? Obviously, Origen clearly have a lot of faith in Amazing Zalice.
It is interesting to me that they are prioritizing it so heavily. They also have a read right here on where the jungle start is. So what that says is you want to try and get some kills, but there's not a lot of hard CC, at least early on in these lanes. You need the Malphite to hit level 6 to kind of chain that cocoon into another form of hard CC. You need that Orianna to be level 6 and get that shockwave. So maybe some advantages with the Shen in the bottom side should they choose to gank there, but in a lane swap that will be much more difficult.
I mean, we know who he's really comfortable on, this LeBlanc too. Seen him do well on it earlier today. And they're going to need him to do well on it. But I'd say, anything's better than that Echo we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, that wasn't great. That wasn't great. It didn't really work out too well for him. A couple of mistakes made, a couple of ultimates hit the wrong time.
Yeah, Mithy not going to have the same sort of chances to get these big multi-man knockups, but could still get those big multi-man taunts too. So the functionality is similar, I suppose, in certain ways.
Mithy taking a little peek towards the mid. We did see a 3-pronged attack, remember, on Bjergsen early on. So as going to look around. Hello, teleport to top lane. Okay, fine. Bilzy will go up against Stixxay.
So as soon as the Shen saw Alistar coming to actually help out in that bottom lane, it was just an instant TP. So no one actually wanting to go for the 3-man push here. Just a reaction as fast as can be, and that means that Riven is going to be able to pick up some of the farm around this turret, and they're still going to get a little bit of good damage down with that explosive shot. We've seen a bit of a slowdown in these lane swaps. At the World Championship, everybody just constantly agreeing, and there's actually a nice headbutt pull.
Whoa, knocks Mithy right back under turret, takes a lot of damage. Well, not too much, though. I don't know. That didn't seem to be worth a flash to me.
Yeah,
Retrospect.
it didn't end up being worth a flash at all. And
Yeah.
it looks like we may have an issue here.
Wah, wah.
I'm getting flashbacks back to now right now, I tell you. I feel like this is just me again. And sure as hell it's CLG again as well. Not quite the European version, but you know, Crepo's on the desk, so he's been through this one with me. We both survived that day.
8 hours of silver scrapes.
Never forget.
Coming back again.
Oh my God, that was interesting time. So okay, yeah, both of them lagged. Don't understand why. No flash on Alistair. Please remake.
Mithy pleading the case for Afram with the game chat right now.
TSM is okay, but
Good news there, right?
bad news for you is they're not in the final.
Yeah.
So not so okay. Meanwhile, CLG.
Wow, you just had to bring the reality crashing back for that poor
Well,
fan.
the Rain Man knows what reality's all about.
TSM is okay, guys, wearing an SK Telecom shirt, so it seems like
That
he
fan
knows
is
who the
okay
good.
then,
He,
too,
he,
yeah.
knew, he knows who the good teams are.
Yeah, it's just you know, covering all the angles. It's like, really, I was
They're
SKT fan all
passable,
along.
I guess.
Yeah, you guys in the crowd, give it a wave, guys. We are waiting on this pause. You've been fantastic crowd throughout the last 2 days. A Kappa Ross at the back there as well,
Nice.
keeping things going.
We'll just have some happy little pauses, you know, because you got to have some pauses to see where the good games are, right? That's right. It's got to keep it on the bright side, you know.
It wasn't lag. It's just, you know, a time for us to banter. That's it.
A time to talk. I think if we put a tree right in front of the Origin screen, that would cover it off nicely.
Ruined. Ruined, D-man.
This is where I really wish we had a telestrator right here.
Yeah. Start drawing all over
Just
it.
start drawing.
It's a big arrow. This is the trophy.
I feel it may get abused.
No.
Can you see what it is yet? Yeah, we don't want to go down that route. But yeah, if you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, we are on a pause. Not exactly sure what it is. We saw the lag on the screen, so that's pretty much. You saw what we saw, and we're just sat here in the dark just as much as you, apart from seeing the witty banter between the players.
And apart from the bright
screen.
light shining on us.
Yeah, but the
There's
crowd
totally
is
in the
literally
dark,
in the dark right now.
They are
so
in the dark. It's nice.
we try and keep things both real and metaphorical at the same time here at
That's right.
IEM.
Makes it more complicated. But dancing. Dance party's broken out within the crowd, so that's good.
A dance-off between the two. I didn't see whether it was a CLG.
Oh, the song is Sandstorm, too. Darude Sand. Have you heard of that song?
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Nope, we're not going to.
Oh, come on.
What does that say? Come on, your time.
It says
Says-
Kuzan.
Kuzan. It's a Janair fan.
Okay.
They're okay, too. Don't worry. They're getting SKTs.
Oh, wow. Dedication to Origin right there. I like the exclamation mark at the end. It's just like,
We got a third guy. We need a punctuation mark, I guess.
it would have been TSM, but they just like, well,
Maybe that's
okay.
what it was before. They rubbed it off real quick. You know, CLG has 3 letters, guys. Just saying.
Just saying. Maybe they didn't really fancy going that way. They're trying to back the... they'll probably just pull it down. They got CLG shirts on.
It's whoever's ahead at the moment. That's right.
The
That
Ramos
happens.
hat's still in fashion.
It's okay.
The best fans are the ones that bandwagon between both teams in the same game.
It's effective bandwagoning, you know. That's right. When you think of bandwagoning, are you thinking of like an old school wagon, like pulled by horses or something, or like a station wagon?
I don't
or
know where that came from. I'm going to have to look
Yeah.
up the etymology on
The
that
bandwagon.
word.
Yeah.
I think it's you know how I always thought of it is used to have those like wagons with like a band on it that was promoting like a mayor in like a small town. Like think of like Oh Brother Where Art Thou, that movie or whatever. So then you like get behind the bandwagon. You're like, yeah, I'll vote for that guy.
Sometimes the
Is it
fact that
literally a
you're from a
bandwagon?
I don't know.
tiny town in Midwest America is painfully obvious.
I
So-
know. I never saw this myself in real life.
Okay, really?
Yeah, really.
I just think of like the guy with the guitar. Slowly playing away. Everyone following.
To admit, I have heard my relatives play that song at family gatherings.
Really?
I'll admit that.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, guys.
Anyway.
If you have just joined us, there is a slight pause here. Oh, the referee's just poked his head and we're still unsure of exactly what the problem is. Over on the other side, if you are using 2 monitors, which I hope you are, you can get your second screen on the go.
All right.
There is also a Counter-Strike finals happening, but right now we are back underway. Looks like the pause has been released. We're back in the game.
And the bot lane matchup between CLG and Origen. Of course, Huhi, meanwhile, takes a bit of damage while his clone stands dejectedly behind the turret. Goodbye. Oh, that poor clone. Couldn't they just make it disappear?
Ooh, this is going to be an interesting gank. Amazing coming around.
Yeah.
That minion wave will delay, and Power of Evil taking a massive burst.
Man.
Is it going to be enough? Because the Ignite goes down. Power Amazing will pick himself up first blood here, but that was so very close. Darshan's going to continue chasing here. This is a risky play for him. Meanwhile, Mythy's gone a little bit too deep down there. That's going to be the jungler. Now, Darshan hasn't got a great deal of damage. Power of Evil flashed in for that. Not even close to landing anything, and now he's in trouble. That could well be the death of him. Amazing. He's just given up on him already. Power of Evil was going to go down. That was a straight trade. That was a big mistake by the mid laner. And now Mythy, where's he going?
I don't know, man. He got knocked into the river by Afro Moon. This is not where I want to be right now.
Well,
I feel like a real ninja and get out of here.
So he got behind the turret, and I'm wondering whether or not that had anything to do with an attempt to stop the teleport coming in from Darshan right there.
Could have been.
But in any case, bit of a wacky fight. Power of Evil really overcommitting with that use of that flash over the wall right there. Ends up paying for it in that 1-for-1 trade advantage. Still going over to Origen, though. And Soaz actually getting quite a bit of CS up as a result. Pretty comfortably laning with Cloth 5 against this Jinx.
Should be okay. The more armor, the merrier for Malphite, of course. And I feel like with sort of the sea theme with that skin, he's really got the right one for a tournament in the Bay Area, right?
Hey. I was liking the Fnatic Gragas that Smithy was rocking earlier.
Yeah.
A little bit of respect there.
Yeah. Couldn't make it, so he's like, well, I'll get Fnatic here in one way or another.
Well, Peke will at least respect it. You know, that was, he was in that tournament once upon a time, many moons ago. Amazing. Clearing out the pink ward. That's an expensive pink ward earlier on to lose. And the bait was so obvious. Well, he may actually get away from this one. The exhaust use on Smithy, that's not the target they were looking for. They are going to get him down, though. Enough damage, but not quite to finish him off. And actually, comes in and extinguishes the flame that was amazing. And now, where's Smithy going to go?
I don't know. I guess they wanted the 1-for-1 there. Power of Evil. The way he's running away, they should change the name to Cower of Evil. He looks very afraid.
It does indeed, but Mythy is still stuck behind enemy lines right now, and he's going to get collapsed on.
It's okay, he's a ninja. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Sneaking his way right out of there. There we go.
Oh, he tried to get CS as well at the end. This is like, no.
Totally unconcerned. Well, that should have definitely got better for Origen. They certainly got the drop and the bait on Huhi right there instead. End up handing him a kill. But Soaz just sitting up in this top side, collecting as much CS as he can.
It's like, Niels, I'm back. You wouldn't believe what happened while I was going. I ran all the way through their jungle, and then I almost got killed, ran to mid lane. Then I tried to CS, but I couldn't quite get it because I'm a support. It was exciting. Exciting time for Mythy.
Wild times for the supports. Niels, meanwhile, just chilling down that bottom lane. In terms of CS, it's actually working out well for both AD carries. You know, they're having their little solo play, but Soaz is the one that seems to be benefiting the most from this one, I feel. You know, on the Malphite, you'd expect, okay, he's going to be pressured, going to be pushed on his tower, but he's quite happily shoving up there because he's been against a very passive Stixxay in his top lane, and he's free farming right now. It's all about these misplays, I feel, by the two mid laners.
Well, and the fact that Soaz is going to get so tanky in this game, probably going to go for a Sunfire Cape just so that he can just clear the wave very efficiently with the ground slam and the passive AoE damage. Means that it's going to really cut down Riven's options when it comes to that split push. Of course, the passives from Malphite making him not only the shield from his passive, but his ability to basically have an armor death cap for free. Like, getting the 30% additional armor is pretty significant when it comes to how he's able to build. And against basically 3 attack damage champions in Kindred, Riven, and Jinx, it's going to be very, very effective in this game. And he'll have enough HP probably to survive LeBlanc anyway.
Nice invade there from Smithy and Afro Mood, taking away that red buff. But they must realize that Amazing was most likely in the top half of the jungle. Very easy for Darshan just to pop that ward down on top of him. So advantage for CLG there in the invade.
Yeah, Darshan too also taking a little bit of a kind of strange build path, going for the double long swords. I mean, he didn't have enough to actually finish the Hex Drinker right there straight off. But with the chain vest already done onto Soaz, he's gonna be pretty comfortable in that lane. He can play back, he can just continuously clear out the wave. Shouldn't be too big of an issue.
Yeah, sitting on 1,200 gold as well. So he's been farming out for a long time up there, having some free reign. But speaking of free reign, look at this one. Another easy dragon for CLG. Not going to get contested by Origins. This is pretty much leading from where game one left off.
Yeah, CLG with another easy dragon here. Didn't end up helping them in the end in game number 1.
And they made a decision to get some wards down in the top side and take away the enemy red buff in response. And they really just want Soaz to keep on pushing. Has that level advantage right now. Has that CS advantage. And here comes Oriana making a feint up to the top side. No wards for CLG.
Well, who he's following this now, or he was, he stopped. But this could be a dive onto Darshan.
Just getting
Raptors.
Raptors.
Careful here. Yeah, just Raptors, I guess. Good luck, top laner.
Uh-oh, there's the ultimate. Darshan. Oh, that was a beautiful cocoon that catches on into Shockwave as well. Well, 2 ultis used to make sure he catches on. Technically 3 if you count the spider transfer, but it will be the tower objective and the bottom as well. So this is just like game 1. Suddenly Origin just switching on and pick themselves up a couple of objectives.
I mean, that was such a nice cocoon coming in from Amazing. I mean, Soaz starts this off at the perfect time. Look at that. Great timing on Win, at least going to be there. Perfect chaining of CC, one into the next. Darshan had no chance right there. Ignite goes down, and we've got to fight the top side.
Amazing call a little bit. Soaz comes in to help his teammate Mithy there as well with that Shen ultimate. Afro who pops his own. There's a kill for Darshan, and now Mithy's going to wish he hadn't come to help, because he's going to get taken out as well. Smithy with that kill.
He's got more story to tell Niels, at least.
I guess so. Then I went to top lane and died.
Yeah, that one didn't work out so well. So we didn't see the setup at the start of that, but clearly that just looked like Amazing stuck around far too long. And judging by the fact teleport was used of sort well by Darshan, clearly they just collapsed on him. Just stuck around too long.
Well, what happened was they had gotten that bottom tower already, and what they really wanted to do was try and take 2 towers in both the side lanes at the same time. But yeah, you have to respect the TP coming out of the opponents and make sure that you're not just going to get rocked like that if you overstay your welcome. Especially, it was just Amazing, and then an ulting Shen coming in from the support position. Yeah. So a little bit greedy, that's for sure.
Not at the right time at all. Niels gets some damage onto Smithy. That turret's going to go down, but Niels is going to make them pay for it a little bit at least. He's got his support with him.
Yeah, they're going to try and turn this around, chunk them out, make sure that they can actually maybe finally finish off this turret.
The gold is dead even now in this game. A turret apiece. Just that one dragon giving CLG a little bit of an edge right now.
Yeah, but the control right now that Origen has, and the fact that they can easily contest this next dragon, it really just comes down to how well they can CC the members of CLG. And just given what the team fights that we saw in the last game, I would really put a lot more faith in Origen in that particular situation.
I feel like Darshan's been very starved in this matchup. Origen clearly have a set path, a set goal. Keep him down to minimalistic CS, and seems to be working well. Huhi pretty much just 10 CS behind. It's just a simple back a little bit early, but look at this. Soaz is potentially going to collapse on towards him, and he catches him. Huhi caught out. There's another shockwave, and that was just instant dismissal of Huhi.
And that's how you have to have this synergy. You need to reliably land that combo in order to operate this team composition, and Origen has just very much delivered on that so far in this match, taking the mid turret with a great setup from Origen. They're going to get top turret at the same time, and that is it. Now they've opened up a pretty significant lead for 12 minutes.
I mean, they've really done a good job this game so far, pairing a dive or a kill with a turret too. It seems like they're taking those objectives when they're taking members of the other team too.
Yeah, well, that's how you play well again around minion waves, is you have that plan set up several minutes in advance. That's what Origen is showing us, and I think we're seeing that really not a fluke here that they were a top 4 team at the World Championship. Certainly an elite unit capable of having some pretty good coordination. And Power of Evil slotting very nicely into this. You can see the communication he had with Soaz to make some of these plays. He's really delivering.
Absolutely.
Interested to hear who the shot caller is still on that team. See, obviously, we're assuming it's Mithy. Mithy had a lot of discussion before, but then again, I assumed it was Mithy before, and it wasn't. He just talked a lot. That's all it was. But as you mentioned, we were unsure how this one's going to work out. Now, Origen looking very good moving towards the European LCS Season 2. A lot of rumors floating around how Fnatic, what their status is going to be. Will they be disrupted? But Origen at the moment, they're going to be looking at what 2016 season, I believe, is the correct name for it, and feeling very favorable. And at the moment, they have their eyes on the prize here at the Intel Extreme Masters. It could potentially be working away with their first bit of silverware as a organization.
And it's looking good. They have the kills on a couple, especially the Orianna. I mean, right now we're looking at Power of Evil with 100% kill contribution so far in this game. And the Orianna getting fed, in spite of the fact that spending the money on the Rod of Ages to stack up and, of course, survive some of that LeBlanc burst. But the damage that Ori has, CLG is just so squishy outside of Aphromoo. You basically land a Malphite ult. If you have a fed Orianna, that's going to be 100-0. Easy.
Yep.
Easy.
Cool time to think about for that next dragon. About 35 seconds until that happens. Origen takes out a pink ward as they get set up for it. CLG, I mean, we just talked about how squishy their players are right now. It's going to be really hard to contest this dragon.
It's going to be really difficult. And the armor stacking still coming through for Soaz as he makes his way towards that frozen heart. But they're actually just going to push the turret right now using that zone control from the Ori.
Yeah, so as you can see, just waiting off at the side, happy to pull the trigger if he needs to. Unstoppable force, as I mentioned. The Glacial Shroud he picked up, working on the cooldowns, getting that frozen heart will work so well in his favor. And really, it's Huhi that's going to be the only person that's going to be able to do a great deal of damage to him. And why the hell would Huhi focus Soaz? But okay, second dragon. This will be the first one that Origen contest out of these two matches, really. And will CLG consider getting close to it? Doesn't look like it. They want a piece.
Yeah, no, there's a huge ring of wards right now just placed down by Origen as they pushed up the bottom lane. So that means they know exactly what's coming in, made it for an easy recall for Soaz so he could catch the wave. Complete knowledge of the enemy team, and they're not even going to lose very many minions in that top lane.
Yeah. CLG tried to use the opportunity to get a little bit more of a handle on their top and bottom lanes as far as minion waves go, and they are putting a lot of pressure on the mid lane. Neil's forced away from there.
Oh, they have to be so careful about this.
Ooh,
yes,
that Cocoon just flashing past there. Chomper's going to keep them at bay. And remember, there's no middle turret. Power of Evil coming through, forcing Huhi distort away. And as you mentioned, they have to be careful because that was a collapse very much orchestrated by Origen. If they weren't quicker, they'd have been caught.
Yeah, CLG had to back off immediately. They have no wards in the enemy jungle, and they really don't have any wards in the river either. So without that mid turret, extending like that can be very dangerous. I think they're lucky to get as much damage as they did. And here comes the split push, but Soaz has the Sunfire cape right now. I mean, he just easily clear this out.
Yep, no turbo at all. And I feel like this is the first time we've really seen a tanky champ brought in to handle Darshan's split pushing. That seems like it works pretty well.
I mean, I like it. So personally, I think it's...
Whoa,
okay.
On the Stixxay, Shockwave used. Can they catch him? Smithy comes in, doesn't really find a chance to get the taunt landed.
He should have flashed for that.
Probably.
Just go for it at that point. I think he could have eliminated Stixxay pretty easily. And
speaking of eliminating, Mithy getting very, very low, but he's going to get out. Cocoon on the Mithy. Rocket comes in. Mithy dodges it. Huhi trying to get away with that LeBlanc. Looks like he'll make it out.
Huhi had to burn both of his summoners to not even kill Mithy right there. I think it was especially a mistake to drop the Ignite when he did. Save that for a target you can actually 100-0. I mean, he decided to go for a Chalice first, or an Unholy Grail first onto LeBlanc. So he's really not in a position to be able to 100-0 even a support Shen at this time. And he looks like he's just trying to force plays at the moment because the tempo of the game is certainly going in Origen's favor.
Yeah, we saw how bad that works out for Fnatic back at the semi-finals, honestly, in the Worlds. Trying to force those plays, backfiring, and it can be tricky when, you know, you feel that you just need to make a play. You need to try and get something. You're in that delicate situation, but they don't need to panic right now. They need to realize, obviously, we see the goal difference. It is still pretty damn close. There's not that big a difference. It's just simply a case of Origen completed a few items ahead of CLG. and just took advantage of that.
Yeah, and they're executing very cleanly as well.
A lot of it is just the map control, you know? I mean, they've got the outer turrets, they've got the vision. CLG just is continuing to be sort of steamrolled backwards.
So Darshan now completed that Black Cleaver along with the Hex that he got early on. So suddenly we saw a fairly even trade with Soaz there. This is the first time they've really gone up against each other. It's been pretty much been AD carry versus top laner for the entirety of the game. So that's probably what we're going to see for, I guess, the next 10, 15 minutes at least between those two, split pushing back and forward. Who's going to be stronger? Warden's Mail just completed by Soaz though, so that will change things once again into Soaz's favor.
Yeah, 1,200 gold sitting before he based right there, decides not to actually do anything with the Negatron cloak that he had already picked up. Not going to get the Merc Treads quite yet, they said. Probably as a result of what you're talking about, D-Man. Deciding that he might want a little bit more armor, at least for the moment. Finish off that Frozen Heart first, because he's not really in a position that he has to worry about Huhi too terribly much.
Oh, now is this mispositioning? This is a big gathering from CLG, pushing in towards this mid lane turret.
Oh, wow.
Coming behind them, they're going to try and go for it.
Power of Evil in a lot of trouble, gets pushed back, but luckily pushed into his teammates. Teleport's coming in. Soaz joins the party as well, too. Not using that ult just yet, trying to find a chance. Looks like Origen has held CLG off for the second. Meanwhile, Niels up in that top lane, really threatening that tier 2. It's not going to take him long to knock that one down if CLG doesn't do something about it. Oh, and speaking of it, they're going to try to right now.
The split target, the Power of Evil, though, getting caught out a little too aggressive there. They thought they could try and just basically fake it out against CLG and force them away, try and head them off in the jungle, but CLG read straight through that. They did lose a tier 1 turret, a tier 2 turret though. So tier 2 turret for 1 death on the mid laner, I'll take that any day.
Yeah, absolutely. And the problem there is that's probably the best that CLG could have done, because what Origen was already doing was they had already started to cut them off on their rotation into the top side to save the tier 2. So at least they got a kill. There was a real chance that they got absolutely nothing in trade for that tier 2. So at least after their first mistake, when they tried too hard to engage onto the mid lane turret and Origen forced them out, they got something.
Amazing, in a little bit of trouble. Has to repel to get on that one. So as also over the wall, Huhi. There's another knockup coming in from CLG. Everybody separating there. Really looked like we were going to have a kill, but everyone just kind of got punted away from each other.
Niels' ulti, I think he was expecting to land the killing blow, and instead just
so too.
booted them all to safety. We've seen that a good couple of times. I seem to recall a certain Alistair headbutt in the Worlds that happened. But, well, I mean, it's still very close. Still just, what, 2,000, 3,000 gold between these two. Power of Evil shows that his positioning can catch himself out a little once in a while, and CLG very much open to fight, but they have a brick wall to push through. If it's not the Orianna Ball, the Shockwave, the Unstoppable Force, or Mithy just trying to run around the side, then they can put the damage down, but it's so hard to catch onto Niels, who's just going to hop away as soon as you get close to him.
And again, CLG, they've been pretty much like trying to group in the mid lane throughout all of their matches today. It's been kind of a default for them. It seems like that's what they're...
Huhi, a little bit of damage on the Power of Evil, about half its health gone right there. And that's a good setup to go for this dragon, and that's exactly what CLG is going to do. A little bit afraid to take it. They're going to pull it into the river. Can Origen stop this? Amazing coming in, tries to get the smite. He gets it. Nice steal from Amazing on Team Origen. They pick up their second dragon.
Nobody made an attempt to stop him. He just walked up and said, thank you very much.
Yeah, he does, and also you have to be careful of Elise because she does have execute damage in the spider form, so you can outburst the enemy jungler. Didn't even have to use smite for that, I don't think.
Yeah, there was
Doesn't
literally
look like it.
zero zone control coming out of CLG. They just kind of gifted that dragon across to Origen. Now they're once again forming up in the mid lane, but they have zero vision of the side of the river. And again, Origen just come out and force them back away. This is very much a big game of cat and mouse right now. A big ball of twine for CLG, trying to catch on towards Origen, but they are just separated. Soaz is just dying to pull the trigger. He's waiting to find that big juicy AD carry or mid laner.
Yeah, and they have total control over the Baron side right now. 3 pink wards there, so they can keep playing with this vision for CLG.
Stixxay is the toe. Look at this. Look at Soaz. He's trying to bait it as Stixxay comes around the side. The ball was on his head, but Stixxay is well aware of it by the looks.
Soaz is just not taking damage right now either. He stuck around, took a lot of hits from CLG. Didn't really seem to phase him, but never got quite close enough to engage onto Stixxay.
I mean, Origen just has total information right now. They have a huge ring of wards right around the river on both sides. And so they're using that to their advantage. And CLG, they're trying to just push this wave forward, but they're not afraid.
Oh,
my!
The combo. Can they follow it up? Looks like they can. Niels with the killer. Oh, the double kill for Stixxay as he fires the Jinx rocket into Origen. Soaz on the run already. Man, Stixxay turned that one around.
I mean, that was very pretty at first, but there wasn't enough follow-up damage from that shockwave quite yet. And that meant that there was a lot of execute damage coming in from the Riven ult as well as the Jinx rocket.
Yeah.
Uhi
playing with fire there.
Oh, he's
Flashes away.
And now that's
chance.
Afromu and Stixxay very low here. Now, if this was double lifted, a Rocket jumping in for this one, he's going to try it, and he may well get it. There we go, double. Gets the reset, jumps on. Oh, dearie me. And Mithy passes on the story to Niels, and that's a beautiful triple.
Yeah, Niels right there, really delivering, just jumping to the side, staying in range, and then actually flashing the pulverize so that he could make it out, reset his jump, and then get it. Stixxay failing the flash over the thick part of the wall, and that means it will be a 24-minute Baron for Origen.
That's exactly what they wanted to sort of ease themselves into the late game as we are at now. And what's Origen going to be able to get with this Baron buff?
Well, I mean, they can go back and spend a lot of that gold. There was a lot of posturing for a long time, but this is Niels. This is just as we were talking about the double lift moment. The kills, the resets, everything working out for Tristana. He's been a champion of this tournament.
Tough.
AC, yeah, Mithy just coming in as well, having that
one step away,
ultimate,
one frame.
I mean, you got to keep in mind, too, that, you know, Niels came in as a rookie this year, and even after Worlds, continuing to have just a spectacular year.
It's really quite impressive how far Niels has come in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
And that was a very nice Tristana play.
4-0-0 now on that champion.
We have to remember how that started, too, which is, again, who he kind of getting a little bit over-aggressive, attempting a turret dive, and then just getting absolutely red. So Niels with a really good sense of when his opponents are going to be aggressive.
Sounds a lot like game one, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
I feel like we're seeing a bit of desperation from Huhi in the finals. It just seems like he really wants to make something happen, but he's forcing it too much, you know?
I mean, the difference is Origen have totally controlled Darshan. Like, Darshan has not been able to do what he did. Clearly, they were sat at the back, like, okay, this guy's clearly the real big threat. Zion Spartan, Darshan, whichever you like to call him. It's been a tournament of name changes throughout. But this is going to be a very easy turret picked up for Origen, but they just had a game plan coming into this one and executed it very well.
Wow, Smithy got executed there by Niels. Oh, Soaz goes deep. There's a nice shockwave to pick up a bit more for Origen. Kill onto Stixxay. Afromu going down afterwards. Soaz low. Niels going deep. Can't quite kill off Darshan. Meanwhile, Huhi tries to make something out of nothing, but he's just going to have to watch his inhibitor.
They may be able to finish the game here.
Try and end this. They only have about 20 seconds, but maybe they can make it work.
Well, Darshan and Huhi's still up, so you've got a decent amount of damage, but all 5 members of Origen right there. There goes Nexus, turret number 2, and then Nexus under threat. It's going to get taken out, and CLG is going to find themselves 0-2 against Origen.
So always looks so happy after a win.
He was, he's not happy about playing Malphite. 0-5, just had a fun game on Gangplank. He's playing support there, but OG really just executing in those dives. Very nice coordination with this team, showing that they can work together. Power of Evil doing very nicely, knowing when to use that shockwave and really helping out his team throughout the entire course of this game.
Yeah, the wombo combo setup, it's what we were wondering. Obviously, we looked at it against CLG, the big shockwave, the caught double lift, very well executed alongside Mithy. This time with Soaz, clearly very easy combo to set up, unstoppable force, sorry, just piling straight in. And it just worked out, and it just set up Niels nicely, 6-0 at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't ask for a much cleaner game.